Hello, Sim here. So if you predominantly play Call of Duty like myself, and then you go to the world of Battlefield, the controller may feel a bit, well, weird. It doesn't feel like a controller, and it feels like you've gone back to, wow, learn a driver school because you don't know how to drive anymore. You can't even shoot enemies. It's like your controller's going all over the place. You know where you want it to go, but it's not going there. Help! Yeah, so this is what this video is going to go. It's going to go through the options that will help you if you're a Call of Duty player, master Battlefield from a controller perspective, and then all you've got to do is figure out how to move around the map and the other actual game mechanics like spotting enemies just like that, because as soon as you spot them, you can still shoot at them even if they're in fog and stuff because you've marked them. Although they have reduced the spamming feature of the spot button, which is a good thing, so that cools down so you don't abuse it. Well, it can't be abused as much. Anyway, so the game clips in the background should, like this one, should clearly demonstrate that Sim has come to grips with it. Now, if you're a Call of Duty player, then typically there's only a few options you need to dial in. It's not even sensitivity is the only thing you normally dial in. It's the, typically it used to be one slider. Now you get two, the horizontal and the vertical. The things you would do is turn off vibration, turn off music so you can sound whore, enable the tactical button layout, and that was pretty much it. That's all you needed to do. For the majority of the people. Of course, some, you got the color blind option, but that was it. That was it. You just had to dial in the sensitivity for one or two sliders, and that was it. You were good to go. You could go and beast, and you can see that Sim has got to grips with Battlefield 1 because I'm using not a burst rifle, I'm using a single shot rifle, which means every single shot of mine has to get on target. I can't do spray and pray, and so this really forces me to make sure that I can master the gun and sort out my accuracy, as you can see right there. So we're going to get into the options in just a second, and then I'm going to got a nice little clip for 30 seconds or so, which shows you beasting. Okay, let's get into controls. So on the control screen, turn vibration off. The soldier stick sensitivity is the main one that you want to play with for moving around in the world. The soldier zoom sensitivity is what you're going to be using to adjust your ADS. It defaults at 100%. I've set it to 58%. I've set this one to alternate, so that's your tactical button layout, so you can crouch with the R3 stick. Aiming acceleration, turn it to 0%, turn it off. The dead zone is what really threw me. They set it to 22%, set it to 11% on both sticks, and don't muck about with the actual dead zone. Do set these thresholds to the minimum value because then you get free trigger stops because you hardly need to squeeze your triggers and it fires away. These zoom sensitivities, just leave them at 100%. Don't touch them. So we're going to be moving on to the important one. Come on, scrolling, almost there. And it's called Uniform Soldier Aiming. Turn it on. This will make it feel COD-like. That's why you don't want to muck about with those 100% sensitivities for the aims. You want to muck about with the other one on the previous screen prior to that. Now on the gameplay screen, I set the crosshair from the standard white to green to help me see where my crosshairs were. So that was the main change I did. You don't need to do that. You can set it to any color you want or desire. Now the other change I did do was the minimap. I'm used to looking at a minimap in the top left screen. I am not used to looking at one in the bottom left, so I blew it up by 25%. If I hear enemies around me, or let's say I hear sound around me, I'll clarify that, and I don't see any friendlies on this minimap, I know I've got enemies around me. Now on this screen, the advanced gameplay screen, turn camera shake to the minimum value, so that when explosions and stuff are going off, you can still keep your targets and enemies in your crosshairs and shoot them. Turn aim assist auto rotation off, I set it to no, so it doesn't automatically snap to the wrong target who's next to the enemy that you wanted to kill and then you die because you didn't get to kill. On the audio screen, I turned off music. Brightness, I set to 60%. Field of view, it defaults to a lot lower value. You guys recommended 84 and that's what I set it to. Obviously, turn motion blur off. Now I set color blind to, I probably won't even be able to pronounce it, Tritanopia. so I could clearly see the red for enemies, because by default I just couldn't see them as well. So that helped me out. It's a visual thing for me. So here's the final bit of the video. This shows you me killing enemies in close quarters at medium-ish to longish range, mainly medium and close quarters. But it'll show you that now I can snap onto targets relatively okay. You can see the green crosshairs. It's much easier to see, especially in the dark, compared to white, and you really know where your aim is. And so any of you who've watched the live stream of me being a noob, and I was a noob, and that's why I called the live stream Sim's a Noob. You know I take the mickey out of other noobs in Call of Duty, and I will be doing one of those series soon just because I've got some nice little footage. But, you know, every gamer is going to be a bit of a noob at times, and that's a fact of life. We all have to learn. But, you know, here you go. You can see that I'm beasting away, and I've got to keep your aim on target and snap on, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that these tips really do help you. At this point in time, I was still struggling to throw out the medipack rather than do the syringe for reviving, because it wasn't intuitively the right way round for me. I think I still had Battlefield 3 in muscle memory in that way, so I was hitting the wrong D-pad thing. But so I hope the tips help you guys. If you have any additional tips, please let me know. Please drop a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, this has been Sim.